I'm about to feed them to the sharks right now. Get them hype right now. Yeah. You know the ground is up. Yeah. Everybody that trains, you know the game. Yeah. So let's get it. Slap it up, bump it, and roll. Hey. Yeah, that's the way that it go. Ain't no better way to better yourself in this game. You're feeling the growth. That's time on the mat. We put in the work. Believe it ain't easy, I know. But we train for the love of the game, the love of the art. Now slap it up, bump it, let's roll.
Welcome to this episode of the BJJ Campaign Podcast. My name is Jeff Boone. I'm an A3 purple belt, one stripe.
Phil Coors, A2 purple belt, one stripe.
Orlando Castillo, A1 black belt, one stripe.
Perfect.
Nailed it. So Orlando comes from us from Fight Sports Miami. That's your main training place, right?
Yes, sir.
Very good. And you've been to camp how many years now?
This is my third time at the camp.
Third time. Very good. So you were 19, 21, and 22 then.
Correct.
Very good. I think we met in 19. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was it?
I don't think we trained in 19. I saw him because he was always rolling the whole entire time.
Well, that's all he does here.
It's kind of sad. He retired from Jiu Jitsu to work full time in the cafeteria now.
I do both.
Orlando holds the record for the most rolls at Jiu Jitsu camp of anyone.
It's true. That's true. You do train a lot.
Are you training for anything specific here?
I'm currently getting ready for World Masters. I'll be there next week. I don't know when this will be on the podcast, but I'll be in Las Vegas August 31st to September 2nd.
Dang. Are you going home for like 2 days? And then
For like 36 hours.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. What was your main reason? How did you happen upon camp? What got you interested?
In 2018, 2019, I was head coach of a gym, and one of my students mentioned about the camp. I knew about Yoko, and I didn't know much about Origin, but I knew about Yoko. I looked it up, and I was like a week away, and tax write-off for me, doing jiu-jitsu. So I took it, and I've been coming back every year. That's
awesome. In your day-to-day life, how do you manage your training schedule? Like you work, you train, you teach?
I work. Since I'm 18, 19, I've been working for my dad's painting company. I was lucky to be the boss, the son of the owner.
Yeah.
So I get to work from home. The deadlines are a little flexible, and all I need for work for my dad is my laptop and my cell phone. I teach a few classes a week, and I also work for American Grappling Federation, AGF. We do tournaments around the country and Europe. Check us out at AmericanGrapplingFederation.com.
Tell me, I'm not familiar. What do you guys do? Do you do like IBJJF rule sets, or is it a different rule set?
The rules are pretty similar. We have some slightly differences. We don't do advantages for positions. We only do advantages for submissions.
Yeah,
we do gi, no gi, kids, adults, masters, seniors. The company's been open for about 11 years now. They're really strong in the middle of the country, Texas, Oklahoma area. And they have expanded in the past 2 years to the East Coast and the West Coast.
Oh, wow. That's cool. How many events? Do you know how many events are around a year?
2022, we have around 90-something events, which is a little less than double from last year. And we're planning to do more on 2023. This year, we're already going to Europe. They used to go to Europe before COVID, and we're back in Europe this year.
Very cool. So what got you into that? What got you started in that? Did you know the owner? Did you grapple with them?
So as many of you guys know, the COVID came, and it was pretty harsh for a lot of people to do jiu-jitsu and make money with jiu-jitsu. And around November of 2020, I happened to see the tournament AGF, needing some ref. I contacted Brandon quick, and he said I need a ref. I came in, I started working. I worked my way up. I started taking more positions, and around June of 2022, they allowed me to be a promoter. So now I help running the events. This weekend on Sunday I'll be doing Chesapeake, Virginia, and that's my 4th tournament alone.
Oh wow, that's wild. That's very cool. Nice work. Do they any of them on Flow, or can they catch them anywhere? YouTube? Any kind of streaming service that they do?
There is no streaming, but we do have videos in YouTube, and we're working to have our own streaming service coming up soon.
Oh, nice. That's very cool. And does it run on Smooth Comp, or do you guys use some other sort of software for it?
So the other owner or co-owner is Chris Carlino, and he is like a real nerd with computers.
Oh,
He
nice.
created with our own platform, and everything that the tournament does, he has created all the coding and stuff.
Oh, that's very cool. Okay. Very nice. I did not know that. So what got you started in Jiu-Jitsu, Orlando?
I graduated high school 2009, and I was debating between going to school or doing something else. I didn't want to go to school, but my father told me I needed to do something. He didn't want to have someone at home the whole time. So I happened to see a Jiu-Jitsu advertisement. I thought it was something different. I took my little cousin. He didn't like it, but I loved it. And I happened to try it out, and I stay with it. 13 years later now.
Wow.
I'm a black belt.
Nice. That's awesome. And did you were just looking for something to get into then?
Yeah, something to keep me away from home and keep me busy.
Yeah. Very cool.
Have you always trained as much as you do now?
I think now it's more focus. Back in the day, it was just training all over the place. Now as I'm getting older, I try to be smarter with my training, and I complement it with lifting weights and doing other workouts.
How many days a week do you train, and has it always been that way?
Now, because of work and more responsibilities, I have a daughter, so there's some extra bills to pay. I try to manage it, and I train at least 5 times a week, plus lifting and doing physical therapy and massage therapy to keep the machine good.
Yeah. And have you always trained 5? Or were there times where you trained 7 or 3?
There were times 2? Where I trained 7, and when I was injured, probably I focused more on the gym than training, but always something physical.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of injuries, over that 13-year period, what's your list of injuries that you?
Well, Jack Davenport took out his knee
Obviously.
last year at camp. Maliciously.
And then he didn't come back this year because he was so embarrassed.
Yeah.
That he took out
he was
Orlando's
afraid.
knee
Yeah,
last year.
after he got done bragging about he took out the black belt.
Yeah.
With, I don't even remember how he hurt it. I think he just surprise attacked him.
So in 2017, at a tournament, I hurt my knee. I had ACL surgery. And that was the biggest injury. After that surgery, my knee.
How long was it that you took off for it?
11 months. From surgery until the tournament was 11 months.
Wow.
So after surgery, doing rehab, then lifting weights, and when I felt ready to go back into the mats, I started reeling, being smart with my training partners, and like I say, surgery was in February 2017. By November the same year, I was already competing. And December of that year, I did a Nogi Worlds in California. Mm-hmm. It didn't go my way, but I felt good. Mm-hmm. And something that I didn't do that I kind of regret now, after coming back from surgery, I didn't focus so much on weight training as I should. So my knee got hurt again, but as I get older, I get smarter. Mm-hmm. So now I devote some time into lifting, weight training, and making sure my knees and my legs are good.
Yeah, no, it's smart. Have you ever seen the guy, Knees Over Toes guy on Instagram? He's got all kinds of exercises. Did you follow that program?
I follow him. I tried to buy his book, but I never got it. I got my money back, but I never got the book.
Ben Patrick, get the book to your boy, all right? Yeah. So you're doing. Are you doing any of the drags or anything? That's what I do. That's what I mostly do is the drags, backwards walk drags, stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah, strengthening up. That's smart. Smart. Everybody out there should be.
That guy can dunk now.
If you don't follow Ben Patrick or Knees Over Toes guy, at least 50% of his posts are him dunking a basketball. I was like,
It's the exclamation point of every sentence. I love the guy. I think it's great. And I spent a lot of time like scrolling through his videos, and I was like, dude, we get it. You can dunk. Show me an exercise, please.
There's another good one too. If you're not on this, the Physio Fix.
You like that girl,
Dr.
right?
Stacy. She's great. Like for any, you can look on her page, and for any, like if you got any ailments, like for me, I do a lot of shoulder stuff and back stuff, neck stuff, and she like you can look them up, and she gives you like 5 exercises for everyone if you're stiff in a certain area. So Physio Fix, Dr. Stacy. That's shout out to her.
I'm a supple leopard guy.
Kelly Starrett. Yeah, that's a good book.
Fixed everything.
Yeah,
I like never really have all those issues I had before.
yeah. Well, it's all because of that rolling out. So do you do like any rolling and any lacrosse ball stuff, like rolling out your muscles or anything like that? Massage? Do you do any massage?
I see a physical therapy once a week, which I don't do like lifting, but he focuses on the areas that bother me every week, something new.
Yeah.
And then I work out 3 times a week with a coach as well. And if I really need to, I get a massage, maybe like once a month.
Yeah, no, that's good.
What do you want to do long term in jiu-jitsu?
Honestly, anything related to jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu nowadays is like so broad. There are so many opportunities to make money doing jiu-jitsu, not just having a gym. But you can
You have a podcast.
You can do a podcast. You can run tournaments. You can be a professional fighter, kids coach. Just do seminars. But I'm 31. In the future, I want to have my own gym. But right now, I just want to experience more things on how you can make money with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that's smart. It's crazy to hear you say that too, because I mean, 10 years ago, I don't think that was. It was really hard to make a living doing jiu-jitsu, right? And now it seems like there are definitely more opportunities with that, with the tournament industry being very popular. And I give a lot of credit to Jocko and Joe Rogan for that. You know, I mean, if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be doing jiu-jitsu. You know, and I think there's a lot of people out there like that, where I have no idea on the numbers today, but the growth in jiu-jitsu has been tremendous over the past few years.
Yeah, I agree. I think Joko brought it to the public, to the people that didn't know about it. Same thing, Joe Rogan. You know, you got the fans of UFC. For a long time, people will call jiu-jitsu UFC, but nowadays people call jiu-jitsu like actually jiu-jitsu, you know? And I believe like if famous people do it, people will follow.
That's right. Tom Hardy just won a tournament.
Big deal. Big deal, yeah. I saw a lot of Facebook posts about that.
All over.
Yeah.
It's all over. But that any exposure is good exposure.
That's
I think.
right.
I mean, who cares?
Jonah Hill, I think, got a blue belt at one point.
Did he?
Yeah.
I knew he was training with the
I thought
Machados, but
I thought he got a blue belt at one point.
Ashton Kutcher was a brown belt.
Apparently, he's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. He's probably got his black belt by now.
Maybe, yeah.
He's still training. He was Machado too. Yeah.
So you train with Cyborg now, right? That's your main coach?
Yes.
Does he teach most of your classes, or how does that?
Cyborg is at the gym a lot, but we have a fight sports in Miami. We have many great athletes. My friend Roosevelt, my friend Joao, my friend Suraj. The great coaches, you know. All of these are black belts, champions. And Cyborg is also there. But Andre Porfirio as well, Panam champion. Those are the new coaches, like the new jiu-jitsu, but Cyborg is there. And if you're at the gym, you will learn from Cyborg. You know, one day he just show up and want to show people something. But the main coaches nowadays are Roosevelt, Andres, Suraj, Joao, Alpes.
Alpes.
No, Joao Costa. Joao Costa.
Costa.
Yes,
Okay.
he won the ADCC trials in Brazil. Roosevelt won the ADCC trials in Brazil as well. And those are the main
So
coaches.
they punched their ticket. They're going.
Yeah, there will be ADCC in Las Vegas.
What does that look like? What does their training camp look like before ADCC? Something that only comes around every other year.
So, as you guys know, Cyborg has been in ADCC many times, so he knows the rules pretty well. When we get ready for ADCC, or when the gym gets ready for ADCC, because they don't get ready alone, right? They get ready. We get ready as a team. Even people not competing are there, pushing the guys, and we bring, or Cyborg brings a wrestling coach. Pat Donnie was there showing the guys wrestling. Okay. Because ADCC is not just jiu-jitsu, right? The rules push a lot of wrestling. Mm-hmm. So they have a wrestling coach pushing classes and make sure we know the rules, because they're really different from IBJJF.
Sure.
And sometimes the silence that is not just out of bounds. You stop when the ref says stop. So just keeping that in mind, and knowing the rules is key for this tournament.
Yeah, no. Well, I think for any tournament, I mean, knowing the rule set and playing to the rule set is very important. So Pat Downey came in and taught wrestling. Did he do any jiu-jitsu while he was there? Was he like training any?
If I'm not wrong, I think Pat Downey is a blue belt now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't think it would take him long.
He was training for a long time with Wagner Rocha at Wagner's gym. He just won his first fight at Bellator, if I'm not wrong.
Oh yeah, I think that was like last week or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Was that the guy that had the match with Gordon or no?
Yes.
Okay.
He had a match with Gordon. God, it's been like a year.
Yeah, that like wrestling hybrid match.
Yeah. Because he had it with, I think Pat Downey was first, and then Bo Nickel was second. I think
that's the name. I remember that name better.
I think that those were the two wrestlers that he had a match with.
Okay.
And yeah, that was it. Hey, did you watch the card, the WNO card with Gordon and Felipe headlining?
Yes, I was up.
So we don't have to talk about that one. What I do want to talk about is the Marigali and Lovato match.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people know Marigali because he's awesome in the gi, but he have proof to everyone that he's also awesome in no gi. His stand-up is great.
Dude, that was crazy, wasn't it?
He showed it against Lovato, which is a legend,
Took him down twice. It broke my heart. Honest to God, it broke my heart.
Yeah.
Because I love Lovato, But I love Marigali too. I mean, I'm going to be training with those guys down at Renzo Gracie Austin in the whole month of October. And Marigali just announced yesterday that he's going to be doing gi classes. The only problem with that is it's at 6:30 in the morning.
You have to stay.
I mean, I'm usually an early riser, right, Phil?
You're gonna have to stay up pretty late for that one. It's like an hour past your bedtime.
I might have to sleep from never. I don't know because I'm a night owl. I don't know.
It's gonna put all-niner.
I know. But yeah, so hopefully the 6:30 class is a gi class, and then the 10 o'clock, which is perfect if I didn't have to go to an earlier class. 10 o'clock class, and then I think 6:30 class. So every day.
You probably have to go to that one like once a week. You just have to start your week off, get up at 6:30, then do the 10:30, and then just recover the rest of the week from that time you woke up early.
I'm sure the gym is gonna be really busy in October, right? It is in September, and I'm sure I bet money that gym is gonna have a few podiums there.
Dude,
I already know it's really hard to get in there. I heard from some friends, if you wanted to train there, you needed to be at least a blue belt, and you needed to send an application.
Yeah, so we just did it. We just signed up probably about 3 weeks ago for all of October. And so we did that. And by the way, I don't even know if I want to say this because it might be an influx, but it's not that expensive to do. it's not that expensive to train there. So signed up. Once we got signed up, I was able to register for all the classes. So I got all mine reserved. Like I'm in for October, and the two guys that are going with me, they're in for all of October. So and then when we're down there, Chris Howder, you know Chris Howder, one of the Dirty Dozen, he's doing a seminar at Gracie Humaita, which is Tim Kennedy's school. So we're going to do that one while we're there too. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
October is going to be busy for you.
Yeah.
I'm not going, so he'll have to, just write it all down and let me know.
Write it all down. No. Speaking of traveling for training, what other than obviously camp here? What other places have you sought out different people to train with, and traveled and done that?
Since my probably purple blue belt, I grew up going to seminars, having friends and driving to seminars. I've been to Andre Galbao seminar, BJJ seminar, Lucas Lepre seminar. So many I cannot count them, right? But I like following my coach Cyborg to his seminars. I get to train with him, but going to a seminar is like having him for myself a little more, going to a place where he's going, where I know him, But I have followed him to Houston once as a blue belt. I follow him to Dominican Republic as a brown belt. I follow him to Sarasota in Florida, a couple hours from Miami, as a black belt. Georgia. It's just good. I like going to seminars. That I like learning the way he teaches other people, that don't know him. I just like seminars. I like putting myself out there and learning. I like learning.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been with him? Did you start with Cyborg?
No. So my first belt, my blue belt, was given to me by a Lord Irvin affiliate in Naples, Florida, and then I met Cyborg. I went to one of his seminars in Miami, and I just fell in love with the team, with the vibe, and I've been with Fight Sports since blue belt until now.
Okay. Very cool.
So, me and Jeff are both jacked and huge. So I was thinking maybe because you're in A1, and we have a lot of people who are smaller, maybe around 155, 160 pounds, that listen or host the podcast. Any advice for dealing with the bigger people? Because our last guest had talked to us about how you handle bigger people so well. John was complimenting you from our last podcast.
So I believe if you're smaller, a lot of my coaches say, if you don't want to carry the person's weight, then don't pull guard. But if you believe the person is going to take you down, then go down on your own. Mm-hmm. Also try to keep the person away using your legs. And when you're ready, try to get and control their hips. I like to play half guard, and I don't want to say like I carry their weight, but I control their hips and try to just manage their weight as much as I can. When you're on top of the big guy, don't go close to their chest when you're in side control, because they will easily bench you. So you can go towards the hips, because most likely what they will do is a hip escape. So you control their hips, and when you control their hips, you will know when they're ready to move, and you can anticipate the move and do something else. I'll be showing that later on today, guys.
Nice.
Very good. What's been your biggest challenge in jiu-jitsu, and what got you through it?
I think every tournament was a challenge, getting prepared, expecting to win, and then many times not coming out with the result you plan for. But then going back to the gym on Monday and fixing the mistakes and going to the next one and do it week after week, overcoming injuries, and I still like working and try to juggle life and jiu-jitsu. But I just like being under that kind of pressure and being constantly challenged.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, how do you deal with, like, you know, anytime anybody's going to a tournament, you know, I think everybody does it. Everybody gets nervous. How do you deal with your nerves?
So I believe everybody gets nervous because it's important, right? You get prepared for so long and then you're there. It's like taking a test, right? If you didn't get nervous, it probably wasn't as important to you. But just is I lost my train of thought, but
Yeah, Jeff.
Just talking about
Jeff
nerves.
broke the
Sorry.
computer.
yeah.
Break it? Now we're good.
Just being there and try to do what you do at the gym. You know, you're rolling. The only difference is that you at a tournament now.
That was the hardest part for me. Like, man, the first like 7 tournaments I did, after my first match, I'd be like, cool, man, I can't open my hands. I was grabbing so hard. Like, oh, it took me so long to be able to like dial it down. And that's not how I train ever. Like, I'm never like super aggressive. I never like do one roll and I'm exhausted. Like, even when I started, I wasn't like that. So like when I would compete, all of a sudden I'm like, everything was different. And it took me a lot of practice competing to like be able to kind of dial that back down and chill out a little bit and not like, you know, burn out immediately.
And speaking of competition, do you go in to a competition with a general game plan for everybody, or will that game plan change depending on your competitors? Because the competitors that you compete against are well known, you know, for different things, right? I mean, you know, you're not going to fight one person that's a guard player the same that you're going to fight a guard passer, for instance. But do you kind of have a game plan for individual matches or just in general?
So as I grew up with my belts, I remember one thing Wagner Rocha told me, right? Be first. If you're first, you know, you fight, depending on your belt color, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 10 minutes. But if you're ahead, then you get to lead the pace of the match, right? If you're already losing, how hard is it going to be to score when you're losing? But if you're ahead, your opponent can make a mistake. You can capitalize. So what I try to do most of the time is to make the first move, go in my comfortable area, go in where I feel the most comfortable, try to score, and then wait for them to make a mistake to keep on scoring and just play by the rules, right? Because at tournaments, the best jiu-jitsu rap player doesn't win. The guy that wins is the guy that knows the rules.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. I think it's super important. It's for anybody out there wanting to compete. I think it's super important that you're very familiar with whatever rule set you're playing to. Have you done any submission only stuff?
No very big ones, but I have some like local only submission. Mm-hmm. I like the points. I'm a big point guy. Mm-hmm. I like to play by the rules. If the submission comes, I'll take it, but I'm not only submission oriented.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that you guys, that the AGF, that they're not giving advantages for positions only for submission attempts. I think that's the way it should be. I think that's a mistake. I just think I think that's the way that you're going to be more offensive if you're going to get those advantages for attempts. You know, and for just the consumer who is watching grappling, they want to see submissions, you know? So that makes sense.
Agreed.
You did a couple of submission onlys, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. I prefer those. If it's my like super lazy, opportunistic, just try to grab their neck style.
Yeah.
You know, sweeping and takedowns is hard. I just like to grab the neck.
Takedown is a whole different, ball game, right? Because when you do jiu-jitsu, when you talk about takedown, you can be fighting a judo guy, or you can be fighting a wrestler, and it just changes everything. You know, the way people stand, the way jiu-jitsu guys stand is not the best way for wrestlers, and the way wrestlers stand is not the best way for judo guys. So you gotta be ready, you know, and before you step on the mat, you need to know what you want to do.
I'm getting taken down.
Then you got to break full.
That's why he wants to slap on that Philippine real quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's not much of a chance there. It's surprising how many people are pronouncing that weird here. It must be like the main accent.
They're saying guillotine. Is that Portuguese guillotine? I don't.
Must be, yeah.
Because it's really a Philippine.
Yeah, everybody here says it. It's the Northeast accent. You know.
It's all. I got you. So, did you have any close friends whenever you started jiu-jitsu? Like that started other than your cousin?
My cousin never signed up. My cousin, I'm older than him.
Beat his ass now or what?
My cousin is
obviously.
My cousin is 18 now, so I'm older than him. I'm older than him by a lot, right?
Okay. All right.
So he didn't like his classes. He didn't sign up. He tried doing it again, but it wasn't for him. He likes more being on the computer, you know, coding and stuff. But he likes what I do. He asked me about traveling, but I told him, hey, I travel because I do jiu-jitsu, and he just laughed, you know. But it's not for everyone. Everybody can do it, but it's not for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any, like whenever you started training, did you have any, like Phil and I started within 6 months of each other, and we've always been, you know, close training partners ever since then. But did you have anybody like that you started with or that you got into it that's still training?
So since I started, or when I started, I had a lot of friends, and then little by little, as they got their belts, they started moving. But as I told you guys, when I got my blue belt, I changed gyms, right? And I left some friends behind, and then from blue belt and up, because I trained between Naples and Miami, I seen people, and 2 years ago I moved to Miami, I seen people, but they're friends, not necessarily. I don't necessarily train with them all the time, but I see them at the gym a lot.
Yeah. So I had a couple of friends recently that just started jiu-jitsu, and they're advanced age like myself. Do you have any tips, tricks, pointers for them when they're starting to help ease their journey along?
Yes, go to class early, warm up, stretch after class, drink a little water, and tap when you need to tap.
That's the most important one, right? So, whenever you are traveling for tournaments, do you, because coming here, you know, they have the packing list, right, of everything you do. Do you have like a list that you go by? Do you have something that you're like, all right, I gotta make sure, you just throw all your shit in the bag and go?
Well, I try not to check in bags, you know,
yes,
to save a little bit of money, but I make sure I have, depending on the tournament, 1 or 2 gis, clothes for the tournament to warm up that I know is gonna get sweaty, clothes after the tournament, and then maybe 1 or 2 clothes for the tournament. When I was younger, I would stay at the tournament a few extra days. Nowadays, I go to the tournament, finish the tournament, I go home.
What would you do on the extra days? Just train?
Just train, sightseeing, try to go to the gyms, relax. But that have changed as I gotten older.
And more responsibility, right?
Yes.
And for those out there, they're trying to balance their schedule, like you know, with family obligations, with work and that sort of stuff. Do you have any tips what you go by for that, like how to help keep them centered and keep training?
Many tournaments nowadays, they put their schedules early in the year, you know, or a few months ahead. Look at the tournament, sign up, and that's your goal. You know, you already put your name there, and then you get ready towards the tournament, and you plan everything around it. If you wait too long to sign up, then you're not gonna sacrifice to wake up early. You're gonna push things, and you might ended up not competing. So I recommend sign up and then do everything around the tournament.
I think that's a great idea. So you plan your tournament schedule like beginning of the year. You're like, all right, I want to do this many tournaments, and here's the ones I want to do.
Yes.
do?
And if I can sign up,
Shit.
I sign up early. Just seeing my name there, and I put my name there so the people that want to fight see, oh, like he's fighting, I want to fight too. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people like to wait, and then if you're waiting, I guarantee you there is somebody else waiting too. You know,
Of course. That's really good. That's really good advice. How many competitions do you generally do in a year?
It changes from year to year. I want to say this year I done the least. I'm coming back from an injury, as you guys are aware. My knee's feeling better, but I taken this new position at AGF, so that's taking a little of my time. But my bosses allow me to compete sometimes, so I get to compete there.
Oh, nice.
But it's not the same, you know, because I'm not just focusing on competing. I'm working too, so you know my head is all over the place. But I like to, you know, test myself. I'm going to new cities that I never visited before, never thought I was gonna go, and I get to do jiu-jitsu, you know, and everything paid for.
No, that's beautiful. You know what though? I mean, there might be something to that where you're distracted by other things that may even actually enhance your performance. You know, because you're not in your own head about competing because you got too many other things to think about, right?
Yes, you're right.
So that's very interesting. So how many tournaments would you do generally in a year?
As in my color belt years, purple belt, brown belt, I would say I would do 2 to 3 tournaments a month.
Okay.
And then as a black belt, the first year I got my black belt, I was doing in 2019. Yeah, 2019. I did also like 2 to 3 two tournaments a month about, you know.
That's a lot.
When I was younger, I had a few sponsors that helped me. As you get older, sponsors kind of go away, you know. But I would say I do at least 1 tournament a month now.
That's good. Now, since you're getting jacked and working out and everything, did you go up in weight class?
Yes, I used to be featherweight. Now I'm in lightweight. It's hard to lose that weight, but I'm working on my diet now. I'm having my meal plans and making sure counting my macros and everything helps nowadays.
See, there's a benefit of getting older, isn't there? Orlando? You have to do that stuff.
Yeah,
that's good. So what kind of diet and macros? What are you kind of following? Are you controlling your carb intake? Are you not so worried about your carb intake? What are you doing?
So I talked to the coach, to my weightlifting coach, and I have a nutritionist person that helped me out, and they were big on eating from home, right? Me and my girlfriend, we're really busy. My girlfriend is going to school for her PhD, so she's not home. She's busy going to school, but we like to eat, so we eat a lot of takeout. And as you guys know, in America, takeout is good, but it's really big portions, And I grew up in a house that you need to eat everything that is in your plate.
Yeah.
You don't throw away food, So I just eat a big portion and then I feel fat and stuff. So what I'm mainly working on is my portion and making sure I know what I'm eating. When you eat takeout, you don't know what kind of oil they're using, if they're using cream or all the extra stuff that you don't need, But
Yeah, why does it taste so good?
right? And I think with the meal plan, we will save some money and feel better when eating.
Yeah, and eat more whole foods, right? I mean, that's what it's about. Cut out the processed bullshit. The stuff,
You just get your own chickens, man.
That's what Phil does. The meat doesn't even really contain but 5% meat. You know, I mean, what the fuck is the rest of the 95 other percent? You know,
Salisbury steak.
So,
That's probably what's wrong with me today. Actually, now that I think about it, I had 2 of those.
That's great. That's great. So that's really cool. That's good that you're doing that. And so, how much are you going to cut for lightweight now? How much?
Oh, for lightweight, I'm good.
You're good.
I'm actually a little below the weight, but I don't want to cut to feather. I have to cut like 10 pounds to go to feather. So I'd rather just stay here and, like you guys say, like keep lifting and
get jacked.
Get jacked. Like Jeff.
That's right.
Whoa.
Not Phil. Not Phil. Yeah. So that's super cool. I think the older you get with jiu-jitsu, I think anybody, whenever they're doing it, you see a result if you eat better in your endurance. You know, people don't realize that a lot of times, but when you're eating healthier, you've got better endurance. You know.
Yes, I mean, when you do jiu-jitsu, it's not about training, but it's everything you do. You know, like resting, drinking water.
Yes.
Supplements, you know, you sweat so much in there, you know, and what do you do after, you know, like stretching and everything add up.
Yeah. And if you're going to go to jiu-jitsu camp, you might want to bring a water bottle.
That's
What do
one
you do
thing.
after? Jeff goes, I'm cramping again. Jeff forgot his water bottle.
I didn't forget it. No, I intentionally did not pack it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I didn't have space. My bags were fucking stuffed. They would barely close.
That's right. Very tiny backpack.
It was
Chose
the
for it.
worst decision I've made in a long time.
He's
Worst
cramped
decision.
every single day.
I have not. I only cramped one day. Listen, you had an ab cramp, all right?
It was terrible. Yeah,
See?
it went away and came back. Yeah.
That's the best, though. Your abs look so good.
Looks really, that one did. That one up here. I believe.
I felt those. They go to the belly.
It's terrible. It doesn't really.
You have to lay down for them to go away.
I imagine that's what childbirth feels like. That's what I imagine. Well, Orlando, we love you as a cabin mate, and we really appreciate, you know, for those of you who don't know, Orlando always helps us with all our stupid questions because he's a lot better at jiu-jitsu. I mean, when we were rolling the other night, I let him take my back a couple times, submitting, but you know, I mean, it was cool.
I don't like in the middle of the roll, Orlando's, you know, just narrating like he's on a YouTube. He's like, comment, and subscribe if you saw the back take. And
It's like, you might want to record this one. But no, we appreciate you being a cabin mate and like taking the time with us whenever we're here and helping us out. So thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys. No, I like the friendship we have made, you know,
Yes.
and just because we like the same thing, you know, we like jiu-jitsu and happen to come to this small city in Maine.
Yeah, we like jiu-jitsu and nothing else really matters.
Yeah.
There's nothing else in the world really
Yeah,
matters.
when you're here, there is no internet. You know? Everybody's asking for the password.
By the way, Orlando did not give out the password. He was keeping that strictly to himself, to the internet. Phil, do you have anything to add?
share the podcast.
Share
And
it.
follow Orlando on Instagram. What's your Instagram?
Orlando Fight Sports or that Castillo AGF.
Oh, there you go. That's your
Two Instagrams, you know.
American Grappling Federation. If you're out there, you want to get a competition, look, see if they've got anything. Support those local tournaments. Otherwise, you're not going to have them come back.
And do you teach only at Fight Sports, or are you teaching seminars?
No seminars. I'm currently no teaching. I don't have a teaching position, but there are some new projects coming up. So stay tuned.
Okay.
Follow my social media, and you'll see there are some new projects coming up.
Cool.
Awesome. And if you're not out there doing something to make yourself better each and every day, get out there and do it. Phil, Orlando, myself, we all choose jiu-jitsu. We hope you do too.